Salute, top of the AM. Straight to the pizzle. Y'all hit that like, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and hit those notifications as well. Early morning grind, that's what we're doing. Early morning grind, that's what we're doing, and that's what we got to do. It's understood. Uh, Salute to the whole entire LDBC, basketball and boxing. You know how I'm rocking. And salute to all of the people that came aboard with me on my platform. Let me start off by saying this, man. I don't really particularly care for James Harden. Uh, as a player, and for some of the things that he's done off the court. Over the course of his career, his habits have been exposed. Uh, he's not somebody that I would want to build my franchise around. And maybe some of y'all might look at the stats and look at the numbers and look at him scoring and doing all this other stuff and find that convincing enough to put him up there. But I don't feel that way. However, having said all of that, in this situation right here, I don't blame James Harden for demanding a trade from the Clippers organization. Now, I know some people, they're thinking, oh yeah, well, the Clippers are doing good, and they're making the jump up, even though we whooped that ass. You know what I'm saying? Led by Dominique Barlow. You know what I'm saying? And Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. Okay, but I digress. Um, Look, I know that they've been playing good, but there's several reasons, and the main reason I think James Harden he wants to go ahead and get that championship ring with somebody. Now Cleveland is not a place that him going over there. I don't think he's going to be successful in a place like Cleveland. Cleveland is, they're a roller coaster team. 1 minute they might do good, and the next minute they won't. They're not consistent at all. And you see what happened once JB Bickerstaff had went to the Detroit Pistons. But him going over there to Cleveland, that doesn't make them a contender. I'm just being honest. It doesn't make them a contender. And it might look and sound good, but we're not. James Harden, can you still get you buckets and everything? Yeah, he can, but his playmaking has gotten even better. But that's not the piece that you need for Cleveland. And it seems like Cleveland is willing to get their hands on anybody that they could get. But I don't necessarily look at that move as an eye opener, or like something that's gonna be like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a good move. but he wants to go ahead and get up out of there. I don't really think that he wants to be involved in the mess and the drama that's coming down. Now, I know some people think that this situation uh, with the money laundering scheme and all that stuff involving Steve Ballmer and stuff, they want to think that that situation is over, but it's not. It's not. It's still an investigation going on, and there's still some stuff coming on the pipeline. Now, while Kawhi Leonard has been playing great, and he's been phenomenal, and he should have been an all-star, some people got to understand, okay, why is he? Why is Kawhi playing though? You know, he's actually putting in that effort that he once did uh, prior to the injury and when he was younger too, with a short stint with the Toronto Raptors, a team in which he did not want to be there. Brown Sugar, what's up, baby? I see you in here. He did not want to be with the Raptors, and then more so, here's another thing too. This is what kills me. When that investigation had happened, when they got in trouble, well, I ain't gonna say trouble, but when they shed light on the situation, on what was going on, I find it ironic that now you want to move away from low managing. Now you want to start playing the way that we knew that Kawhi. At least I know on this end. I know the Kawhi that I used to watch. But before all that, there was a lot of sitting down, a lot of doing this, and a lot of doing that, and that to me was very suspicious. That to me was very suspicious. Thank you, Brasha. Appreciate that. If you'd like to donate, my cash app is $ straight to the point 77. But the Clippers, man, they're going nowhere fast. And see, Ty Lue, he's disappointed and he's disgusted with the situation. You know, and how can you not be? He has said it bluntly that losing James Harden is going. I mean, you just saw his whole demeanor in the press conference. Like he's like, wow. He's like, I don't even want to talk about it. And me myself personally, I think that Ty Lue is fed up with it, but he he chose to be there. You know, and a lot of people feel like he underhanded Doc Rivers, positioning himself to get that job. Something that I'm not gonna delve into. But James Harden is on the move, and like I said, I don't particularly agree with him going to Cleveland. Now, is he going to get a championship? That remains to be seen. He's only got a few good years left uh, playing the way he plays, and everybody talks about some of the OGs. Harden is an OG in the league too. People don't mention Harden as the OG. Harden is an OG in the league too. You have to put him up there. They're mentioning OGs like Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and LeBron James, Harden, Westbrook. Those guys are up there too, because those guys are in their 30s, mid 30s. But I don't know what to make of this. And I know a lot of people, they're sitting up there, they're like, well, we don't care about James Harden. Looking deeper into the situation. Think about it like this. Think about like, okay, when they got rid of Chris Paul, they waived him, cut ties with him, whatever you want to call it. The way I look at it, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. Okay, it was kind of a blessing in disguise, and maybe Chris Paul knew some stuff that was going on too, right? Then when you take the James Harden and the Kawhi Leonard situation, right? I look at James Harden, right? We can make all these criticisms about James Harden that we want to. Mike, what's up with it? I see you in here. We can make all these criticisms that we want, but James Harden held it down. Wasn't out there. He wasn't missing games and load managing. Nah, he still stayed in there through thick or thin. And that's why I give James Harden his credit. That's why I don't blame him for leaving. He wants to compete for a championship. Look, I know that the Clippers are. I know that they're on the come up. We know that. We know that they what? There's, if I'm not mistaken, in the last 10 games, they're 6-4. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, or maybe it might be 7-3. I don't know. Cheyenne, what's up with it? I see you in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like too. But I want to hear from y'all. I mean, what do y'all think about James Harden leaving? Are y'all shocked? Are y'all surprised? Are y'all like, y'all don't give a damn? What y'all think about James Harden leaving? What do y'all think? Because the writing is on the wall. You said titties overtime. Said I'm out of here. Yeah, he sees the writing on the wall. He sees the writing on the wall. He sees the writing on the wall. He sees what's getting ready to happen. And like I said, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. But with everything that's happening and all the stuff that that's been going on within the organization, this ain't cool, man. But do you see James Harden winning the title again? That's the big question. That's a big question. I don't see, like I said, I don't see James Harden winning a ring. You say, I'm not surprised by this, James Harden. Well, no, listen, Cheyenne. See, Houston, he was he was he was the asshole for doing that. Okay, the way he did it in Philly, he was the asshole for doing that. I really don't like how. I mean, I can understand where he was coming from with OKC because of the money. He wanted to be his own man, that sort of thing. But a lot of people don't want to take the Tim Duncan route and settle for less or take a lesser role, because that's essentially what he would have been playing. He was six man of the year, played phenomenal and everything, but he wanted to be his own man in Houston. But in this situation, though, Cheyenne, I agree with Harden 100%. I'm with Harden leaving because of the legalities of everything that's been going on with the Clippers organization. And he, to be honest with you, a lot of basketball players, they just want to keep things relatively simple. Now, you have some basketball players that want to make things complicated, make things confusing and stuff like that. But for the most part, a lot of these players, they just want to hoop. They don't want the hoopla. like KD. You know, you can say what you want about KD. He's not with the hoop line and the drama. He wanna hoop, smoke weed, and play his video games and work out, and that's all he want to do. That's why he don't even want he don't want no family. He don't want no kids, wife, none of that stuff. He wants to stay to himself and be able to live his life, and that's okay. Now James Harden in this situation, I agree with him 100%. And like I said, I've said this in the beginning. I'm not a big James Harden fan. I'm really not, and particularly because of what he does on the off the court. I don't agree with some of his habits, but as you know, the last couple of years, I really haven't had anything bad to say about James Harden, because if you really go back and you go look at everything, James Harden has actually been, in terms of showing up, he's been the consistent one, holding it down. Now, will there be some games that, you look at him, he's like, dang, what's up with the turnovers, or what's up with the ill-advised shots, or what's up with the decision making? Yeah, of course. But when we talk about consistency and him showing up and availability, I give all the credit to James Harden. It doesn't necessarily make up for what he's done in the past, but over the course of the last couple of years with the Clippers, I don't have anything bad to say. And he wants to compete for a title. He sees the writing on the wall, and the NBA gave him a slap in the face by him not getting the All-Star. I think he played well enough to be an All-Star. He played well enough to be an All-Star, man. And I know everybody's like, well, you got to choose. There's only so many spots that you could choose, and I understand that. I understand that 100%. So, like I said, he's on the move wherever he chooses to go. I just hope he makes the best of it. Because, like I said, he's not getting any younger. Now, does he have a whole lot of injuries and all that stuff? No, he don't. He don't. But he's still getting up there. And he doesn't play like a high octane type of style. You know what I'm saying? Flying all over the court and all that stuff. He don't play that. So he played that old man game. So maybe he can last a little longer. He played that ground game. Now, Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft was not selected as the first ballot Hall of Famer. He said hard and durable, even with this fat suit on. Well, let's talk about that for a moment. I'm gonna be real with you, Cheyenne. I don't give a damn how big you are, cause I'm pretty sure you've seen people in your lifetime. If you haven't, then go ask some people. But I know plenty of fat motherfuckers. Fat as hell, Cheyenne. You hear me? Like they look like football players that will school motherfuckers. Like these motherfuckers still play finesse. They don't be bulldozing motherfuckers and none of that stuff. I mean, they play finesse and they get buckets and they're not sloppy and they efficient. I know chunky motherfuckers that's good. You know what I'm saying? like will stay on the court. They don't get tired. None of that shit. Sometimes it's that person is just naturally gifted in a way that you're not. And then you have some cut up, ripped motherfuckers that's barely have any body fat on them that can fly up and down the court and everything, but they can't play worth shit. But my whole thing is when you coming in training camp and you know damn well that you're overweight, but you exemplify what your weight is showing, and then it's not translating to wins, and it's not, you're not successful with it or anything like that. That's what I have a problem with it. That's what I have a problem with. But if you big as hell and you still successful, I don't have a problem with it. Like with Zion, you lost the weight, but you ain't successful. You still getting hurt and you still getting injured. I mean, Jokic ain't fat or no shit like that, but Joker still be out there killing. He ain't all chiseled up and ripped and all that stuff. So some people could get out there, yeah, and he does got durability. I give you that, Shyam. He got durability. He durable than a motherfucker. But some people they're able to do that, and some people can't. Some people have a natural ability to lose weight really quick, get cut up and get ripped. Some people don't. They have to take that up with the Most High. But my biggest thing is are you going to show up to play, fat or not? Fat or not, are you going to show up to play? But back on Robert Kraft, though. Did Robert Kraft deserve a bid in the Hall of Fame, first ballot? Look, Robert Kraft, he's given a lot of guys opportunity. A lot, a lot of people in that Patriots organization opportunity. You don't have to like some of the stuff that went on. The allegations, all that stuff, which I'm like, he essentially was doing the same thing that Deshaun Watson was doing. But you see how they swept that up under the rug. But aside from that, Robert Kraft has given he's given a lot of people opportunity. He was smart in for what he built. Uh, the Patriots, their whole base always has been a great defense, man. And Robert Kraft taking a chance on Bill Belichick when Bill Belichick his resume because he won. I mean, he wasn't really shit when he was in Cleveland. He was successful when he was in New York, not as the head coach, but nevertheless he still was able to be a part of those winning teams. And then when he came over there to New England, and I mean, Robert Kraft has taken a chance on some of the quote unquote bad guys in the NFL. They looked at Randy Moss, which I never saw Randy Moss as a bad guy at all. He wasn't out. Randy Moss wasn't out there committing crimes and no shit like that. But they they portrayed his image as a bad guy. Uh, what you call it? Um, Corey Dillon. They looked at him as a bad guy. You know, he was able to get some veterans in there. I mean, Shadow Chosinko, he wasn't no bad guy, or whatever, but he tried to give some of those guys, quote unquote, divas, a chance, a second chance home. He gave Terrell Owens a chance. You know, they took a chance on him. I mean, come on, man. He's giving a lot of people an opportunity to try to win a ring. And well, when they were the powerhouse, now they're back in the Super Bowl again. So I think he more so than Belichick, he could have been in there. But I think a lot of people they're still looking at it like, okay, if you didn't have Tom Brady, you wouldn't have been in there. And look, I'm not saying that Tom Brady is the end all be all because it takes a team to win, and we got to look at both sides of the ball. But to me, Robert Kraft, he deserved first ballot more so than Bill Belichick. That's just how I feel on it. Uh, and speaking of football, Justin Jefferson, I know he punching the air right now. I know the Minnesota Viking fans, they punching the air right now because of what Sam Darnold is doing. He done went to the Seahawks. He's on the verge of winning a a Super Bowl, winning a title. But Justin Jefferson, who some people see as the best receiver in the NFL, he has came out and gave Sam Darnold his props. Now I don't particularly like how the season ended last season with Minnesota. I know a lot of fans were mad because a lot of people had Minnesota actually winning, uh, going for a championship, but they fell short, and a lot of people, including myself, they they felt like Sam Darnold choked, which he did. But he's learned from that. He's learned his lesson, and look, he's back in the mix. The Seattle Seahawks. I was about to say Seattle Supersonics. The Seattle Seahawks. Everybody criticized them when when they took a chance on Sam Darnold, and they've been quietly getting stuff done. It's like nobody's even really excited about this Super Bowl. If you notice that, they haven't really even been talking about the Super Bowl that much. Nobody's excited now. Last year, because they don't have the people or the players in there that draw a lot of attention. The only one that's really drawing a lot of attention is Stephon Diggs, and that's because of Cardi B. That's the only reason. So, look, man, I'll give a shout out to Justin Jefferson for remaining professional. He could have, been bashing Sam Darnold and all that stuff, but it would have made no sense because you at home. Sam Darnold's still playing, and he playing for the Lombardi. So you got to give him his credit. Got to. So it's been my time, y'all. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe, hit them notifications as well. Straight to the point. Shouts out to the whole entire LDBC, basketball and boxing. You know how I'm rocking. Till then, I'm gone.